Merci beaucoup, Monsieur le ministre, d'avoir porté si haut une voix française, une voix de la France. Je passe la parole au juge Maikel qui est l'ancien attorney général des États-Unis entre les années 2007 et 2009.
Thank you very much. I should open by expressing gratitude to the French Committee for Democratic Iran, and of course to Mrs. Rajavi for calling all of us together today to this extraordinary forum, where we've been able to hear from some extraordinary people, including an extraordinary young woman named Sarah Phillips, who made me even prouder today to be an American than I usually am. And her equally extraordinary father, to protest against the failure by people who have the responsibility to act, or at least the responsibility to speak, against the developing humanitarian disaster for the residents of Ashraf. As we've already seen, both the United States and the United Nations have bowed to the will of Nuri al-Maliki, who imposed a completely arbitrary deadline of the end of 2011. He relented only when the United Nations, in particular the UN High Commissioner for Refugees, entered into an agreement with the Maliki government called a Memorandum of Understanding. Mrs. Rajavi was pressured to approve this agreement, this memorandum, and she did so reluctantly and only on several explicit understandings, including that no Ashraf resident would be forced to move until it was assured that Camp Liberty met minimum standards as a location for refugees who may have to spend an extended time there, including water, sewage systems, cooking, health facilities, and recreational facilities, in addition to suitable living quarters for the 3,400 residents of Ashraf. The Iraqi government undertook in this agreement to establish such conditions. The UNHCR undertook to monitor and assure that these conditions are completed and complied with, and if not, at a minimum, the UNHCR is obligated, as is Ambassador Kobler, to notify the United Nations and the world community, as well as the Iraqis, that the conditions have not been met, so that the residents of Ashraf are not taken to a facility that cannot house them under civilized conditions. It is apparent from photographs and other evidence available that the Iraqis have not lived up to their obligation. The facility itself does not yet have water and electricity. The space allocated to Ashraf residents is tiny compared to the number of people who must be housed and cared for. There's no room for recreational facilities, nor are such facilities available anywhere nearby. The location of the area to be staffed by UN personnel who are supposed to monitor Iraqi compliance with the Memorandum of Understanding and to at least report on any violations of the rights of Ashraf residents by Iraqi security forces are located at a distance from where the Ashraf residents themselves are supposed to be housed. Even though this facility, which is called Camp Liberty, is nowhere near ready to receive people, and the UNHCR has not even begun to screen Ashraf residents for resettlement in other countries, Nuri al-Maliki, who started this crisis by imposing an artificial deadline, has made statements in the Iraqi press to the effect that the residents of Ashraf will be gone from Iraq within 4 months. In addition, despite the obligation of the Iraqi government under the Memorandum of Understanding to safeguard the welfare of Ashraf residents, he has announced that about 120 arrest warrants have been issued for Ashraf residents. The dates on those warrants are chilling evidence of what lies behind them. As you've heard, some 80 of them were dated 5 days before the April 2011 massacre of Ashraf residents by the Iraqi military. They obviously were prepared in Iran as a pretext for that massacre. Another 38 were issued 8 days before the July 2009 massacre of Ashraf residents by Iraqi troops, and were obviously prepared in Iran as a pretext for that massacre.